Hey, what's going on, guys? I know it's been quite a while. This week has just been super tiring. Super tiring. But we're back. I'll let everyone know, for those that were here, what was it? Was it Sunday? I can't remember. We had worked on that one problem, and it took about, what, three hours? Something like that? Like, to just kind of figure out how to make this, to resolve the issue that we were doing, which we were basically given a function with two arguments. You were supposed to basically take the collection that you had, right? And you're supposed to, like, the first argument was the collection. Then the second argument you had to find the last name, or you had to find this collection, which was the second argument that had to find it. So, okay, how do I say it? The first argument was basically an array that contained a bunch of objects listed within it, or a list of parameters. And then you had a second argument that was an object, or how do I say it, like a collection, or I think this is an object with pretty much with like a property with a name in it. And you were supposed to take that second argument and find find the property that matched within that object. Like, it was supposed to basically do a search and find. Like, it was supposed to look and find, like, it had to match the property, and it had to match the value of that property. And so I'll take, you know what, I'm talking about it, why don't I just bring you over? So give me a sec. Okay, so this is what we were working on last time. Now, a lot of you guys, like I said, this wasn't posted to YouTube because, like I said, this took 3 hours, and I was not going to just throw that up there because it would just take it would just be a waste of time. So, well, I figured I would just bring you guys the solution to this one and then kind of explain through it of what was happening. And having this visual is a lot better than just, I guess, explaining it. So what I was talking about, there's the first argument, then you have the second argument. First argument was this. You had an array that stored a object in each one that represented a first and last name. Then you had the second array, or the second argument, that was supposed to match this parameter with this value. So essentially, you see this, well, it was supposed to bring this back, and it's supposed to match all values that are like that. So that contain this, like all values that contain this value, the values that are inside here. So this is one example right here. You could put more in there, but I figured I would explain the solution a bit better. So right here, we made a const variable with source keys. Well, then we would use the object.keys, method right here. It would take the object, right, of the source right here. So it would take the object and get all the keys in here. So it would be last, right? That's the key. So then we would return out the collection and do a filter on it. So that way we had the object as the argument. Then we add a pointer. We would do the source keys, right? And then it would go through every value in there. And it would take the key and as an argument right here for the every. So here we go again. Another pointer. Now we would check that the object right here, which is, everything in this collection, right? And we would see if the object has own property key. Like, we would check each object and see, right, if it had this key right here. Yep. Right. And so it would basically check to see, okay, this has this property, right? So that's the first. But then you'll had another right here. You had another check, which is why you had an and. So you had to make sure it had the key, and you had to make sure the object key, right? Like inside here, that the key right here matched or was, strictly equal to the source key right here, right? So you have the object, which is each one of these, right? Each one of these objects in here. And basically it would check within here if this key value matched this source key value, and then it would return into a new array. So if we ran this, right? Oh, okay, hold on. If we ran this, let's do a console.log, right? And throw this out. This will come out with the first tie bolt with the last Capulet. Now, see right here in that second argument, you had right here last Capulet. That was our criteria. It matched up to the last Capulet, and it put this whole entire value right inside the array. So if it matched, if the key, had its own key and, the key equaled the source key value, then it would take that, right, and put it into an array. So you had this one. Now let's go with this one right here, right? Let's put this one inside here, right? Just for another example. Right. It's last name. So let's see, hold on. Let's put we had the apple and then the second one right here. Oh, see, we put two of them in here. We gotta get rid of this. There we go. So see, we had apple, 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 bat, and then so what it did was, and then this was the first argument, right? It had all these, right? And then the second argument was this apple 1. So it returned inside that array every value, every object or every collection inside here, or every object, each one of these values right here. It returned every single one that contained this parameter and this key that matched this key. So we had a apple 1 right here that matched this key to this, so that went in. It had this one that matched that, went in. And then this one had one, even though it had bat right here too, right? It still placed it inside because it had this apple 1. So it just returned everything that had that contained it. So there you go. Get the console log. There you go. And that's how we solve that. Now, getting this, is one solution. There was one that we were really close to, that I was really close to doing. And it was this one right here, right? Now, I will take this, right? Right. And so, now I'm just going to put this here. I'm not going to, there we go. So right here, we started off with an empty array, right? So this is what we could push to. We could push each one, right? So we would make a for loop, right? Right here, we would use the 0 counter, or the I variable starting at 0. If I was less than the collection dot length, it would keep adding to I. And so we had this Boolean value right here for like false or a true, that we would set it to true right here. So we made another for each for loop. So here's the for loop, and then right here, here's our variable, the source property in source. So this represents each value in source, right? So each value in here of what we received. So maybe this will be easier if I actually, oh, forgot that one, because we have to return this. So if this would probably just be a little bit easier if it wasn't all this stuff in the way. Let's actually get rid of this, right? Let's put this inside there. Right. Here. Okay. Okay, so this was another solution. So we had the array. We had this loop right here. We defined a found set to true. We had this next for loop that took a value of source property that are in the sources. So it took each property. So it took the collection length right here first off. This is the first loop right here, right? So it went through each one of these right here, each value inside here. So then within it, so it took every value in source right here, right? Now we wrote an if statement. If the collection, like I, which equals each value here, right? Collection I, source property, so right here and then right here. So this took the source property of each one of these right here and right here. So if the collection I, so basically if this source property was not equal to the source property of source, so if this, right, if this didn't match this, then, hold on a second, I want to double check and make sure that's right. Yeah. I, source property. Okay. So this right here, that collection, if it went through each collection and then used the source prop, this would be this right here, is not equal to this source prop this. So I kind of want to look, what is console.log source and source prop. Okay, so I was right. All right, on the right track. Just wanted to double check, make sure that, you know, want to make sure I'm checking my work, making sure that, you know, I'm knowing the reason why it received the outcome it did. So we had so this value, right here, didn't match this value, then it would break, right? If it, like, found would be set to false, it would break the loop, so then we would be done. Like, but, and then the next one would start, right? Like it would check this, that if found was set to true, then it would do this. But if it was false, then it would just reset the loop to the next value here. It would go through again. If it wasn't found, it would be false, break, go over. But if it did find one, like if found was true, it would take this array right here and push that collection item. It would push this right here to the array. So, and then once that was all done and it went through each one of those and collected all the arrays, it then returned the whole new array out. So see, it found this in each one and added it. So we got really close last week, like when we did this, and but unfortunately we didn't get that far. And at one point I was like, okay, I need to see how this got there, so I can, I could learn, to improve. And that's how I got there. Like, that's how we got this. So we were actually really close to this than we were to the other one. Which, if we were to write, just to make sure, like, we understood, we could do a const, and then we had source keys, right? Remember how we had the source keys? Now, I don't have to put this. I can just do this, right? Remember? Like, multi-line comments. Right here. Const source keys, object, dot, keys, and we were getting all the keys of the source, right? And then after that, we would return the, we were going to do a collection, like do a filter on the collection. And then we would take each object, right? Right? Then we would take the source keys. Like, we would get each object, and then we would go through each of the source keys, right? So, every. That's what it was. So, right here, we went through every, went through key, right? And then we would do an object to see if it had the property. Has own. To see if it had the property, and it'd be key. Or key. Yeah, key is key. Right? And then we would make our and, because we wanted to make sure that in every one of these we would return that the object had the key property first, right? And that the object key, right, was specifically equal to the source key. And then that would return each value. So there you have it. That was the simplified version, but if some people could come to this conclusion as well. So yeah, going through each one of here, going through each one of here, just making sure things matched up. And that's what we came up with. So going forward, I want you guys to know that we're not going to have that anymore where we're going to spend 3 hours on the problem, like, to see if we can get it. That's just, because of stubbornness and all that, we're not having it. So in order to condense this and make sure, like, we have actual material, like a lot more material to go over, and to get through these lessons a lot quicker, I'm gonna give myself an hour to see if I can solve it myself, see what I could do. And if I can't come up with a solution or close to solution within that hour, then we'll go ahead, we'll get help, kind of look at the solution and dissect it, and that way both me and you guys can see how we got to that conclusion. And that way we're not having to sit here for hours on end looking, but also we can both learn of where we messed up, and get back on track and learn. So thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thanks, Time. And I hope, you're able to see, you'd be able to, do this kind of stuff and learn. Even if you are doing this, you're able to learn some extra stuff too. Because, I mean, even if you guys are pros or you guys are not, going back to the basics and this sort of stuff, I mean, this would help you, keep you on your, keep you, you know, you guys can tongue-tied. You guys can basically figure out things for harder, complex solutions and break it down like to these utilizing these methods. So there's always room to learn. So let's actually go to the next one. Let's see what happens. Like I said, we'll give ourselves an hour or less to do it. If not, we'll just go to the next one, and that's perfectly fine. Of course, man. I mean, you can have the answer and you can be like, oh, that's it, and then go to the next one. But if you're not actually dissecting what you're learning, how are you going to learn that material? Like, how are you going to actually applicate that into what you're wanting to build? You know? It's like you're just going through and you're just doing it to get that certificate and then be done with it and just say, hey, I did it. Instead of actually learning what you're doing. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are like that, you know, with certain training and stuff. Like at your work, you have to go through trainings and you have to do all this stuff. You know, I do that same thing too. You know, it can be very mind draining and definitely not fun. But I mean, if this is stuff you're passionate about, you definitely want to be able to, you know, enjoy what you're doing and know what you're doing. So if anyone else has questions, you guys can teach them too. So, yeah. So anyway, let's bring it to the next one. So this. Okay. So convert a string to spinal case. Spinal case is all lowercase words joined by dashes. Okay. So actually, this really isn't complex. No, I take that back. I say that, but like it it could be. But so what we want to do is we take all these, right? Let's take this string, let's split it, right? So we'll take the string dot split, right? We'll split it up. So now when we split it, we can like do a console dot log, and let's look at string again. So this is a spinal well, what the hell? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm gonna store that into a variable first. Let's store this into another variable. Let's make this a new. Let's put array. ARR. We'll make this. We'll store all the values of string in this array. Right. So we found that. Dot split. Right. So we're gonna split it up. Now let's take a good look at array. Console.log array. Alright, split is not a function. Wait a minute. Oh! Because you have to get it what you want to split into, right? Is that it? No? Alright. Let me figure this out, because why would you just split that? Oh, does it automatically already do that? Aha. Okay. When we did that, when we put that inside there, it took every value, huh? Here we go. Let's try this. String dot split, and then give it a parameter right here. Right. So now what is, when we return it, what is this? So console.log. This is spinal tap. Well, what the hell? That was supposed to split it. Oh, wait a minute. Is it supposed to... no? What? Do I have to put that into a const? Alright, now let's look at... There we go. Okay, I had to store that into an array. I was like, what the hell? Alright, so we're gonna do that. So now we have this. Now we're going to join it, right? Array.join, right? But we're gonna use a dash to join it. Okay. Is this... okay, const join. Wait a minute, hold on. Can I just put this right here then? Like, I don't have to do this, right? I'm gonna try to do this. There we go. So we just put the array.join. We return it. Pretty easy, pretty simple. See? And now turn this to Spinal Tap. Right? This is Spinal Tap. This is... okay. Oh, okay. So it's split. Okay, I see what's happening. So this convert a string to spinal case. So spinal case is all lowercase words joined by dashes. But you have these one-offs, right? Where they're not always separated by. Okay. Because this is separated by, well, this is no space, right? And it converts it all to lowercase. So, first thing is first, actually. We need to take the string, right? And we need to do to lowercase, right? Bring in all the lowercase. And now we need to... okay, so we're splitting it. So technically it's there. I'm gonna keep this here though. Log, right? I'm gonna keep this here. So that way we can see this. What? Instead of doing it for this though, let's actually go ahead. No, we'll keep it there. No. No. There we go. Okay, so we're doing this. Let's try spinal case. This is let's actually put some of these in there to test. We always gotta test our work. So look, see, this right here didn't even have a space. So, man. So we got okay. Oh, man. Oh. So we could use special characters. I mean, that's no problem. We can split it by, like, you know... oh, is it this way? I think it's this way. There we go. So we can do it by spaces, right? And by special characters. Oh no, that goes by words. So how? I'm trying to think. Special characters. So we can split. Okay. So we can do it. What is this? What is this? Give me a second. I need to figure out what is the special character. What is the regex for special characters? Oh, I probably looked this up before. Yeah. Right. Yeah. How? Single white. Okay, so matches any not. So, an uppercase is every. Okay, matches any. So an uppercase S matches any non-white space characters. So that's just like the opposite. We need to find. Oh, is that Python? Oh. Okay. Trying to find. Huh. So you can find literal characters or special characters, but like, what is? I need all special characters. No. It's to look for special characters. Wait, what? I'm not gonna add each one of those. I want something to be able to find. What is a backslash to? For non-word character. Okay, so I have this. Everything that is non-word. Okay, so that's what this is. So if this right here, the spinal case, the Andy Griffith Show, right? That would make what? You're supposed to split it non-word character. This is a non-word character. What? What? Wait a minute. And it's also not lowercase. Are you serious? Alright, I need to find this right here because this is driving me nuts. This is Spinal Tap, this is Spinal Tap. Okay, so this is happening right here. Why in the world is it... Do I have to make a value for everything? Okay, so lower string. Okay. New lower string. There we go. So now we have everything in lowercase. But that still doesn't take out the fact that we need to split this. on, man. Like, you're splitting and every non-word character, right? But that's not doing it. What in the heck is going on? Okay. Okay. So, what do you do? W plus this? For every no. Okay. So we just put that character underscore there. But we'd have to do it for every single one. But this non-space non-word character. This is a non-word character though. In the Andy Griffith Show, like right there, it's looking for every non-word character. Does that... Is that just... No, that's not the first. It looks through all of it. Like, what? It looks through the whole thing and does it. That's why you have these. Like, you have non-word characters and spaces. But this right here isn't. So why... Okay, hold on. Please don't. Yeah, yeah. It's because pattern contains a... Okay. So how do I get all characters, right? So do I just put this through... Aha! Through the... Well, how the hell do I do that? If you're using the Arabic typesetting. So what I'm looking at right here is we would do this and we would do a exclamation point through what would that be? Is it the @ symbol? Nope. Yeah, it didn't work. No, that's because that comes after there. So if I were to put this as an and symbol, right? Yeah, then that would change it. So I am doing it right. It's just, it's looking for anything with an exclamation point through the @ symbol, which, if you guys haven't seen, it's right here. So we'd start right here, right? Because it's the Arabic typesetting. So we'd start right here, and we go all the way through to here, right? And you also want to do this one. you want to keep this here because, well, actually. I mean, I guess we could use these right here. I mean, technically, you could go and do whichever ones you want. Like, so you can do that. So you could do the at, you can do this through the backtick. Wait. There we go. Yep. So, okay. So it goes from the exclamation point all through the at symbol. We want to contain like our characters, so we would go from the up caret all the way through backtick, and then we would use our this through yeah, I have no idea how to make that, so I'm just going to use the tilde. So there we go. So now this will capture anything, no non-word characters on all these additional constraints. So see, now we got this, right? So now what is this one? We have this. So let's see what that comes out to. So we're actually doing pretty good. I mean, everything looks pretty all right. However, now we have to get through every word. So see how this is a Spinal Tap and all smooshed together. So now we have to look in here and add an additional constraint. So would that be a \w with a plus? No, it would convert literally everything. So how do we have one more. How do we split this when all of the values are well, all the values are smushed together. So one way to do this is we could have it to where if it runs into a capital letter, it could, you know, split it whenever it runs into capital letters. Like once it hits a capital letter, it just kind of splits. But I don't know. So how would we? All right, it's at 57. Probably go a little more. We haven't gone too far into this, so we don't have to take it back yet. Like we don't have to go to the help yet. We're still doing all right though. We've met all these conditions. We just have to figure out how to do this. So if we have to do lowercase on each value, so be it. I mean, we can do that. We can just do an each. Like we could do that at the end. But I need to, if it encounters, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, that would just look for all lowercase and uppercase letters. So Oh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So if I, I don't even know why I didn't think about that. So if we do an A through Z, right? Okay. Well, clearly that didn't do anything. So, but then if it did that, it would separate all the... No. Because it would split it, the A. Do we have plus? Nah. Well, it's all to lowercase, right? So we have to take this out. So let's take this. Take that. We don't have a 2 lower, so we'll have to do a string, right? Yeah, it took all the capitals. Ah, okay. Oh boy. So yeah, I knew that would. Well, if it was... No, because if it started with A through Z, no, not doing that. Yeah, I wouldn't have caught anything. So what would it be if we didn't even have this? Yeah, exactly. We'd have a mess. Don't want to do that. It's all about experimentation, seeing what can fit, what can't. So, yeah, because we don't want to turn everything like that. So what does this do? Ah. I see. That's okay. So, okay. Okay. So I need to figure out something. How do I split? Oh man. Okay. How do I split those? It really is, though. It really is. I mean, regex is very useful. It's just trying to separate all of the words that are like scrunched up next to each other. So what I'm trying to do is when it encounters a capital letter, it will split it. Like I'm trying to, but how do you? Okay, hold on. So do we okay, so it's doing a test. Precedes as a word character. Okay. So we can do this right here. So let's restructured string. Okay, so this is gonna be a sub. So I mean re.sub. Hold on. See, the thing is, you can't, this is the biggest thing you have to be aware of. When you're looking at Stack Overflow, you can't just copy and paste the code in and just hope it works. You have to know what you're copying and pasting in there. So, if the RE, dot sub. Wait a minute. This is Python, but it's the same. It looks to me like the same. Is this? This isn't. So you can do the same thing with. Yes. Tell me how to do that. So I can also do this, right? So what? Oh, is that just... Wait, do I have to put that before? Like right here? So, oh, I guess I don't have to do that since I put it in there. This is spot. Oh, small thing. No. So it's supposed to. No, because if I use A through Z, it'll actually it will split it at every capital letter, and then it will join, and each one of those will turn into a dash or a tack. Which is why we have to determine, like, once it starts right here, once it encounters this, then it will split. And this, apparently, this is what it looks like, but I don't think that's... No. I'm trying to figure out how to put that into... Why would you? Yeah. It's basically like it's a test. Like if it finds it, it's gonna do this. But I'm also looking. Array. So hold on. So this didn't do that. Yeah, I had already. So it has to match. So there is a so this could do a match, find that, and then slice it, and then join. But yeah, I get So that matches. What's this? A through Z. So it does like a comparison with knots and A through Z. Proceeds. Okay. Okay, so we're getting kind of closer. So it basically finds it in between. Wait, what? Can I just... Wait, can I just do this then? Yeah, because if we did A through Z... What in the hell? Okay, wait. Not A through Z. And then so why ain't that a problem? Okay. So A through Z, then Z, and plus. So does that just go to the end of the word? Oh man. Wait. Do I need this? Uh-oh. Okay. So you could do, you'd have to. So you could do a dot match. So okay, hold on. Let's back this up. So we could do. I'm gonna take. Hey, it's worth a shot. So let's try it. So A through Z. No, it actually threw it out. So on here, it's saying to try this for Stack Overflow. So we could try doing, let's take this out, right? We'll come back to it. So we can do a string.match, right? And then we would match it to it'd be A through Z, then A through Z, right? Okay, and then, well, that's right. Okay. So it matches these. It uses uppercase and lowercase. And graphics show is Spinal Tap is okay. So this is so I have to match this. Oops. And then I could do this, right? Uh-oh. Yeah, man. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. I mean, it was good. There's just so is Spinal Tap. So it's not keeping, it's only keeping everything that has a match. So what if it has a mix? Can I do an or statement? Or, right? Or, oh crap. Because if I do this, wait a minute. If I did lowercase a through z, right? And then do an uppercase a through z, right? And then plus that. Well, that's broken. Okay, so what is that? Is that an or? Is only one of those in the word? Like if you just go one of these? Oh, wait, would that be just one? Or, wait, 0 through 9. So would that be... Okay. So I could do the or, do A through Z, and man, this is gonna suck. This is a spinal. Okay. A through Z. Right? What the hell did I do? What's this do? Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. Would that be an and? Wait, would it be an and? No. No. Well, that sucked. So. Oh. So. Wait. I know what I'm gonna do. Shit. No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might know what I'm gonna do. I could, that's just, I could add, can I do a split? All right. I think we're at a point. I think we're at that point where we have to look. So let's check it out. Because I think we've already hit that mark. So how close are we? Okay, so let's look at some of these solutions. So for white space and underscores. Yeah. Okay. Replace lower and uppercase to lower. What? For the white space underscores. Okay. Replace lower uppercase to low space. What? Okay, so solution 2. So there is it is replacing. So is it any of these? Nope. Wait, what just happened? Oh, here we go. So this is close to what we were doing. Okay. We were so close. We were okay. We were kind of close. I will say, we didn't put the ors. So okay. So all right. So let's see. I think I got that. So So we go when a white space is encountered, or we do it when an underscore is encountered, or preceding the question mark equals preceding a capital letter. So, man, it's bad because, like, these are being so specific. Because when we had these, right, like the lowercase right here, we had to do for the white space, right? Which is doing it. It counts all the white space or non-characters. We did that. Then, so these are ors. So if it's a non-character, it does it. If it's a exclamation point through at, right, it's gonna do it. If it's a upper, like a caret through the tick, and then an or. So these are all ors. Okay, so why is this underscore there? Like, what was the difference on that one? Like, was it just like an underscore? There we go. So, like, you can't insert like an at, like Teletubbies. So instead of here, you say like an at, right? It would get replaced. So I was trying to include every possible outcome. They just wanted specific. Apparently, like, there was like specifics. Like, I mean, I knew there was other ones, you know, that you could utilize, where you had this solution where you could get white space all the way plus, or this is the rejects, or a underscore, an over, or yeah, so pretty much underscores, white spaces, and just doing a replace. I'm trying to figure out what the number 1 and number 2 is right here. Like, do they just replace? I'm just trying to. They did a replace. So it replaced all these regex right here. Right? That. But I'm wondering. So select all white spaces and underscores, right? The first replace puts a space before any encountered uppercase characters in the string so that the spaces can be replaced by dashes later on. Oh yeah. Wait. I think. Wait, we did that one. So let's try doing this. So we have all these, right? And then we have the string join. Let's say dot to lower case. There we go. Okay. That's because I have this console on. But yeah, I mean, literally all we did was just make a bunch of ors. Like, this happens, or this happens, or this happens, or this happens. There you go. So we did that. All right. So now we have Pig Latin is a way of altering English words. The rules are as follows. If a word begins with a consonant, take the first consonant or consonant cluster, move it to the end of the word, and add a to it. If a word begins with the vowel, just add way at the end. Translate the provided string to Pig Latin. Lowercase. All right. So take the string. So we could do a array. Wait, we just do a slice? That to the end. Well. Okay, hold on. I need to think. So I put that. Wait, hold on. Well, I could do that, but I could also just do a. Okay, so. Removed. Get the if zero is equal to a or yeah, a wait. No, I could do starting with a oh, wait. A or starting with E starting with I or wait, no, or O and starting with U, right? A-I-O-U. Return string plus way, right? Else right? Where splice what if I put this one? If it was just 8. Right. I want to see if this works. Eight-way. Okay, so cool. So it starts with any one of these, which is great. So now we need to do this. So we need to take the first, right? And then plus A. So you'd be dot no plus removed letter plus A, right? Oh, oops. Okay. And then we have the splice, so we want to take it at the first, right? And go 1. So I gotta make sure constant way. So wait a minute. That's not supposed to do that. E-I-O-U. That's not supposed to have a way at the end. If it's A, what? How does that make sense? There's no C there. paragraphs way. Everything is ending in way. This is not right. I would say dot match. Okay. So what do you mean that's not? Oh wait. Substring, right? All right, so oh, come on.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Come on.
I mean, obviously. I mean, yeah, you can get the rest of the word and do that. Oh. Take away this, take away this, take away this. Okay. So there we go. Wait. What is it trying to do? Or constant cluster. Yeah, in a way, but nah. I mean, like, it's a good challenge and I like it. I just have to... How do you match? How do you match a cluster like that? Glove of Glay. Okay, so previous problem solved before how others did it. Well, if I go back, like, my previous problem will be solved before others. I mean, it's all like the same solutions. I mean, there's many different ways you can solve things. So, I never really got Pig Latin. So, like, I guess when it starts there and it meets like the first. Like, I don't know. It's supposed to take. Of Glade. So. Hold on. Maybe we can do this. It takes this, but then it goes to like so when it encounters this, but so it should take. So it means that. So it makes an one. So that's an O. So O1. What is so? Okay, so what does this make? Okay. Could I get index of? Wait. Hold on. I do string. I'm gonna do some testing. So we do. So we have the string. Oops. String dot. Not match. Index of. Right. We're gonna get the index of string dot match. Right. 6. Okay. A, E, I, O, U. I, O, or U. Okay, so it's a 1. So we can do this, that string index. So let's do this. Okay, so found vowel. So we'll do this. We'll look for the found vowel, right? We'll put the found vowel right there. Right. So we found it. So we have rest of word. This is the removed letter. So we have the C, right? Now we have the rest of word. So rest of word plus. Shit. Rest of word. Oh, that's right. Because we would need the substring of. So found vowel. There we go. Aha. So let's see how it works on these. And since we didn't put a G in it, it doesn't keep matching. It just matches the first one it comes in contact with. So this should be paragraphs bay. And now, for the moment of truth, the one that we couldn't do, the console.log. And let's look at glove. No. There we go. Okay. So we've found out it has worked. So we have the found vowel. We'll do the found first vowel. So I've realized it goes to the first vowel of each, and it cuts it there and adds it to the end. So, found the first vowel, we removed move letter. So removed const. So I'd say rem constant. So that way. Rem. Yep. Now, I don't really like how that kind of looks anyway, right? So, like how there's adding here. So, we could do a cat. We can do a cat. And we could do it that way. Instead of adding all the, you know, pluses to concat it, instead of doing that, we'll just add the concat function, because that's what it should be doing. So this is looking for anything. If it doesn't start with an A, well, actually, it's looking at the beginning. If the beginning starts with an A, E, I, or O, or U, it'll return the string and just add way to it. Or actually, I could just do this dot cat way. So there you go, and return that. But if else, we're gonna find the first vowel, right? Get the string index of where it first matches this, and then it's gonna get the first the removed constant. So we have the string with the dot substring. So we're gonna get the first, and we're gonna extend it all the way until we've hit our first vowel right here, which is gonna be the number it's located at, which, because we're getting the index of it. So it's gonna go from there to there and store it in here. And then we're gonna get the rest of the word, and then we're gonna put it in there. So we're gonna take the rest of the word, which is everything else, concatenate it with the removed constant, and then we're gonna add A onto that. Should handle words without vowels. Rhythm. What? Okay. Okay, we can just do simple. This will be easy. So we'll just do an else if. Oh. Else if. Okay, so we have this, right? Matches this, we add way. So we can just do this. Take the same one, right? But we're gonna add right here. So it's not equal to the match. Like the beginning, it doesn't equal that. We're gonna return string. Well, crap. Wait a minute. I know what's wrong. Because if we did that, that means every single thing like glove, paragraph, I see what it's doing. So string.map. Let's do a we'll make another if. If the found first vowel, right, is equal to 0, because wait a minute, it's -1, because that means it's false. So it's going to return the string dot concat way. Oh no. A. Else. So we are doing a embedded issue. Like we're gonna do an embedded if. Oh man. There has to be some way we can reduce this. Oh. So we have this. So we don't need this anymore. Or the... because we have the else. So we have the if, we have the else, we have a const first value right here. If it's equal to -1, then that means it's not found. Else, I do that. So there we go. So let's look at the help real quick. See what other solutions there were. So yeah, there was catting. Constant rejects. Beginning. A, E, I, O, U. So I guess I could do it like that. Could have did that way too. Could have made the we could have made a ternary. So instead of doing the if and else, we could just do this, right? That's right. Then they have to be on the same line? So if we did this, okay, this. Okay. What is... Wait. I must be doing something wrong. What is the turn rate? No. Now it's the turn rate. Like, what is the operator? I need to, like... So, yeah, I have this. Can you not like return like a? So if it has a return in it, you can't use it. And you can't define a const within it. Would it have to be a return? So you would do this, but then you have like... Would I have to do... What? Yeah. keep it to that for right now. But there are definitely other ways. So we have completed, what, is it 2 now? Something like that? How many? So we've done the Spinal Tap case, and we did Pig Latin, and we went over the Wherefore Art Thou. So technically 3 right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We still have 15 left, which is fine. So, search and replace. So, we want okay, so it's just a return. Okay, so do you just do a dot replace before? That can't be right. I don't believe that. There's no way. So there is a replace. Yeah. He is sitting on the couch. Okay, so do we just do string? Ah, okay. Replace, right? Alter string. Take this right here. We'll replace it. And then alter string dot right. Actually, let's do this. For dot do lowercase. Right. see what that brings. Let's try it out. So we have this. Quick brown fox leaped over the lazy duck. So we have that. He is... should return the string. He is sitting on the couch. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? What? No, I am in some confusion. I kind of get it. There are a lot of ways you can do this. But like... Okay. If string equal to oh, that's stupid. Oh. So hold on, maybe we can. So we're getting the first letter, right? This is what this is. We're getting the first letter of this whole thing here. And then we're matching it to see if it is a capital. Because if that is a capital, then we have to make sure that the other one is a capital as well. So to cap. So after uppercase. All right, so we're gonna put this here. So we're not gonna use the string. We're gonna use the 2 cap. Right. Oh. And we have to add it onto the rest. Then we have to do a 2 cap and replace. After dot splice. 2 cap. Yeah. Oh wait, no. We would do that after dot to splice. No, splice. So we would use. So we do the 0, do 1, and then we would replace it with 2 cap. So we do this. So after dot splice goes and then 2 cap. This is to replace, right? Kind of want to look. Okay. I need to look at the documentation just so I can. Yeah. So we got 0 to 1 to get rid of the first one, but then we're replacing it with the 2 cap, which takes this to uppercase. So L, right? Oh, It'd be substring. Yeah. What? It is though. The before is 0 dot is a match to this. Why doesn't it do a replace? Wait. Oh. What is this then? Why is that an L? Is it slice? That be another replace? It would replace that to cap. Well, that didn't work. So string dot replace before, and then you have after dot replace. That is what? 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 Okay, hold on. Can I just... Could I just do the after? Actually, I could do this. After. Can I do an after to cap? It should be an L, right? Yes. No, that's the replace. It replaces that. I need after 0 dot. To cap. I'm just kind of testing some things out. But after to uppercase, it's just gonna use that. Yeah, see? If I did... Right. So... Okay. So we can reduce this. Jumped over the lazy dog. Okay. So if it's replacing this for the new casing, okay, so this is leaped, right? So we have the jumped right here before. I need to get this as well. And why do I keep grabbing things that are there? So J. It is yes. So why is this? Well, wait, can this not be concatenated? Because it's a const? No, that wouldn't even work either. Okay, so it would have to be that's dude, that is not fair. What the heck? Else, well, technically we would just return Um. Okay, so actually I can just do this. It says it's leaked, right? Oh my god. Why won't you replace? Yeah, it does a dot replace. No. Alright. Now I'm confused. So it looks over there, right? Okay. I thought maybe that was the case, but I guess not. So if it's sleeping like this, right? This should replace this. He is sitting on the couch. There we go. So, it's doing the replacements. It's making, like, if this is lowercase, then anything in this will be always lowercase. But if this, the beginning of before is uppercase, then we're gonna change after to 0, like the beginning to 0, the first character to uppercase, and then we're gonna change the rest of the string to a substring, or the rest of the string that's after 1, and we're gonna concatenate it. Then return it. So let's try one more before we turn this in. So we're replacing coding with algorithms, but when we replace this specifically, algorithms is going to be, there we go. We've done it. So this should match up. Alright, cool. And there you have it, you guys. We did all these. As you can see, we've concatenated it. Can always look and see real quick. And as you can see, there are 5 solutions. So that you can do this so many different ways. So there's if and else statements, where you would get the index of the string. So you would store the index by using string.indexOfBefore. Check it. If the string index is equal to string to uppercase, what? If string index, so okay, change after to the uppercase. Okay, char at. So if I did a char at 0 to uppercase after dot slice. Oh, so we can reassign it. Okay, so we can reassign this to do this. So we can actually do after to equal this. Dot to uppercase, like, but instead of doing this, we can actually do the char at 0 and then uppercase it, and then you would add it to the after dot slice 1. So you won't even have to do this. You could literally just do this. So we took out all those variables and we could just do this by just altering this specifically to make it equal char at 0 to uppercase, and then we can slice it, like we can concatenate it by using after dot slice. But can you do it? Can you do a concat? Since it's only one, yeah, I kind of like that. That's a little bit easier. Since the same thing. So it does the same thing. So we were able to condense that just by looking at the example, that we changed those two variables into actual one. So we just redefined what after is. All right. So we've completed 3 tonight. That's awesome. I mean, that's good. We did the spinal tap, pegline, and search and replace. Then we're gonna have a DNA repair pairing. So we could probably do these 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking at about 4 sessions. About 5 sessions to complete this intermediate algorithm scripting. So 5 more sessions, and then we have projects. But if we get through this, right? If we get through this, we can finally get our JavaScripting certificate, algorithms and data structures. So be a good cert to have. All right, guys. As I said, I think that's enough tonight. That'll do it. You know, I hope you guys learned a lot, just as much as I did. Had to look some things up. Did a lot of work with regex. It was, holy crap. This stuff is, it can be really annoying. But if you're not getting the results you need, you know, you're gonna have tons of bugs. And you're not, like, whenever you're in your position, you're never gonna have, like, oh, you know, here's all these cases you can test it against. But, like, I mean, how do I say it? So you do a bunch of unit testing, you test all these things out, you have peer reviews over your code, yada yada. And you try to catch as many bugs and errors as possible. And that's all you really can do. So, just, you know, do your best. Try to limit as many bugs as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much all of programming. So yeah, I understand. Well, technically we got, actually looking at it, I think we got through 4. Since we went through the first one together, then we went through 4. So we'll just have to see how everything else goes, but yeah. I will see you guys here soon. I will try not to make it as long as it was the last time. I kind of do want to check through this. No. I want to check back in here. So we have Bootstrap, right? jQuery, Sass. We have React, or Redux. Yeah, React with Redux. Front-end development library projects. Okay. I'm just kind of looking at things, like just kind of going a little bit through these, doing little tiny sneak peeks. So D3, data visualization, like D3.js, data-driven documents. Okay. So learning about JSON, APIs, and AJAX. Okay. Data visualization projects. Visualize data with a bar chart, heat map, scatter plot graph. Okay. Relational databases. Bash. Learn Bash. Learn relational database by building a Mario database. These are bodies. In this 165 lesson course. Bash scripting, 220 lesson. Yeah, lots of SQL. So some of these actually show you get as well through here, so we'd have to, that would definitely be beneficial. NPM. API project. Yeah, there's so much. There's just so much. Scientific computing with Python. So you know, I think it would be good to be able, I know like it's not great to skip around, but going from like after doing like a front-end development libraries, or I just feel like being able to like get, like going through all of these would be good, but being able to get Python out of the way would be great, because there's so many users that, you know, utilize Python for a lot of things. So, you know, if we can make all these Python applications, like a lot of the stuff that comes afterwards would be fairly easier. I mean, I think it'd be good, use JavaScript. I think it'd be good, obviously, to get this front end. Front end done, but I'd like to be able to jump somewhere into Python, so that I know I know it would suck just jumping around and stuff, but I feel like a lot of people that are really wanting to get into it, it'd be really good to, while we're already on programming, it would be good to learn like a lot about Python and the data analysis that comes with it. And then after that, we could jump back. Like we could, depending on what you guys want to do, we can even stick with Python here and go to machine learning next with Python, or we could even, you know, we can just jump back into the front-end development libraries. So, like, we have so much that we can utilize here. TensorFlow. Yeah. That would be pretty cool to get like a certification in Python, like machine learning. But yeah. Anyway, we're on this right now. We'll stick with this. here we go. But next, we'll be doing the DNA pairing. So, for the input return. So it's just all the TA. Oh, TA, G. Ah, GC. Yeah, this honestly shouldn't be too much of a hard one. So, this is where we'll start off next time. I will see you guys here soon. Thank you guys for stopping by. Yeah. Have a good night.